In London, a secret intelligence team led by Hattie is on a mission to retrieve a virus known as Snowflake from the tech cult organization Eden. The helicopter drops the group outside the building and they blow up the front door to burst inside. In the garage, the team throws a grenade as a distraction before attacking. A few more shots are exchanged, but the agents mostly use hand-to-hand combat to bring the enemy down. While her teammates deal with the guards, Hattie gets in a truck and hacks a locked box to retrieve the virus. At that moment, she's found by Brixton, a former secret agent with cybernetic enhancements who now works for Eden. The team points their guns at him. However, Brixton scans them with his special eyes before fighting them. With fast and precise movements, he brings them all down in seconds. Hattie also opens fire, but Brixton stops every bullet with his hand. Panicking, Hattie closes the truck to protect herself, but Brixton immediately starts punching the door to create a hole. This shows him that Hattie is getting into the driver's seat. Brixton moves ahead and opens fire at the windshield, so he drives in reverse, pushing some vehicles out of the way before crashing through the front gate. Desperate to escape, she injects Snowflake into her own body. By the time Brixton comes out, she's already gone. In Los Angeles, Agent Hobbs enters a karaoke bar and goes backstage to find a group of gangsters. He easily beats up the entire group with admirable skill and leaves the boss for last, pushing him on a tattoo chair to threaten him into talking about the mysterious virus. The guy knows nothing, so Hobbs tattoos a dirty word on his forehead before leaving. In London, Agent Shaw attends a fancy party and goes to the VIP area to find his targets. He also beats up the entire group in just a few minutes using any object he can reach. When he captures the boss, he uses a rope to keep him hanging over the edge of the window, also asking about the virus. This man knows nothing either, so Shaw leaves him hanging there on his way out. Later, Hobbs has lunch with his daughter, Sam. She's currently working on a family tree for school, but doesn't know much about her relatives. Sadly, Hobbs refuses to talk about it. Their lunch is interrupted by a CIA agent who is also after Snowflake. He shows Hobbs a picture, explaining that this virus can liquefy a person's organs. The CIA knows that Hattie has Snowflake, but they believe she killed her team to steal it. The scientist who created the virus is also missing. The agent knows that Hobbs is the best tracker in the world and wants him to find Hattie. Usually, Hobbs works alone, but this time he'll have to meet with a contact in London. In prison, Shaw visits his mother, who used to be a crime lady. She asks about her daughter, Hattie, so Shaw explains that he hasn't spoken to his sister in a long time. When the visitation time is over, she reveals she broke out of her handcuffs while they chatted. Shaw leaves the building and is also approached by a CIA agent who shows him a picture of Hattie. The agent explains that the CIA is after her because of the virus, but if Shaw helps them retrieve it, she may get immunity. Shaw agrees, although he doesn't like the idea of having to work with another agent. Meanwhile, Hattie receives a call from her higher-ups asking her to surrender the virus. She realizes that they think she killed her team, so if she shows her face, they'll kill her, too. Hattie then opens a secret compartment and takes out a bunch of weapons to install some traps in her apartment. Later at the office, Shaw and Hobbs are shocked to discover they have to work with each other. They met in the past and don't get along, so an argument ensues. When two agents try to calm them down, Hobbs throws a chair at the door. In the end, they decide to work separately and see who can get Snowflake first. After Shaw leaves, Hobbs checks the security footage and pays attention to the streets with no cameras. He concludes that Hattie must be hiding in one of those blind spots. At Hattie's apartment, Shaw opens the door slightly and sees the trap behind it. He carefully avoids it and starts looking at all the hidden compartments until he finds a computer. At that moment, Eddie and agents appear behind him. So, Shaw pulls out a hidden gun and opens fire. Two agents are shot back before Shaw starts fighting the others hand-to-hand, using the furniture and random objects for help. Shaw defeats them one by one, even throwing a man out the window. The fight activates Hattie's trap. However, Shaw rushes to defuse it just in time. In the meantime, Hattie enters a hotel and steals a bag from a luggage cart. She also bumps into a guest on purpose to steal her key. She goes to that room and uses the clothes from the stolen bag to put on a disguise. On her way out, she's stopped by Hobbs, who asks her to surrender. Hattie grabs a helmet and hits him a few times before trying to leave, but Hobbs stops her. Then, Hattie starts throwing any object she can reach at him. However, Hobbs easily defends himself and handcuffs her. Hattie keeps on fighting him, hitting him a few more times and even getting him in a chokehold. Hobbs easily defeats her by simply lifting her with one hand. The next day, Brixton goes to Eden headquarters to get an update on his enhancements, which is a very painful process. It's revealed that Eden plans to create a new race of superhumans by using the virus to kill the non-enhanced people. At the CIA base, Hobbs tells Hattie that he can tell she didn't kill her team from her fighting style, but until they can prove it, he can't let her go. Their talk is interrupted when Hobbs gets a call from Sam. So, he makes another agent watch over Hattie while he takes the call outside. Hattie uses the chance to break her necklace and use a piece to pick the handcuffs under the table. Then, she starts beating the agent up using the chairs and takes his gun. At that moment, Hobbs comes back and tries to capture her only for Hattie to threaten to shoot him. They're interrupted by Shaw, who pulls out his gun as he explains that Hattie is his sister and wants her release. The men start arguing, so a frustrated Hattie reveals that the virus is in a capsule embedded in her hand. Suddenly, the window explodes and the impact knocks Hattie out. Brixton and his men come in with open fire, forcing all the agents to hide. They kidnap Hattie and jump out the window using special harnesses, which allow them to run on the side of the building. Shaw and Hobbs quickly beat up the 2 remaining men before Hobbs jumps to go down the rope while Shaw takes the elevator. Hobbs lands on top of an enemy, pushing him against the elevator to knock him out. Then, he jumps on the other man to fight him, too. Hattie wakes up and steals a knife from Brixton's suit, which she uses to cut the rope. As they land on a glass ceiling, the elevator reaches the ground and Shaw starts beating up more enemy agents, stealing their guns to open fire. Hobbs makes another jump to attack Brixton and the glass breaks. So, the men land on top of a vehicle. Hobbs tries to punch Brixton, who easily throws him at a car. When he turns around, Brixton and Shaw are shocked to see each other. It turns out they used to be teammates, but Brixton decided to leave the secret agency and join Eden. So, Shaw was ordered to kill him. Shaw tries to attack Brixton, too, but he's easily brought down as well. Hobbs knocks down an agent and steals a grenade that he throws at a car which lands on top of Brixton. His enhanced arms allow him to stop it before it crushes him. Hattie beats up another agent and Hobbs runs after her only for Shaw to appear in his car to rescue them both. Brixton and his men get on their bikes and start chasing after them. Shaw drives as fast as possible while dodging every civilian in the way and Hobbs shoots at the bikers whenever he has an opening. Eventually, only Brixton is left and his special bike allows him to overcome any obstacle. Brixton opens fire and Shaw's vehicle is stuck between him and the returning agents. Hobbs pulls one of the men off the bike and smashes him against a wall. Shaw pulls a crazy move by making the car go under a truck. However, Brixton follows him thanks to his bike's modifications. Then Shaw makes a sudden U-turn, causing Brixton to crash into a bus. This allows the car to escape. Moments later, Brixton makes the Eden team hack into all the news networks with fake information. Now Shaw and Hobbs are being presented as dangerous terrorists on national TV. After the trio sees this, Hattie says she wants to find the scientist who invented the virus to remove it. And Hobbs shows her the picture he got from the CIA. In just a few hours, they track down Dr. Anrio and corner him on the street. In an old building, the trio asks Anrio to do something about the virus. Ando explains that in 42 hours, the capsule will dissolve and the virus will become airborne. Eden hired Anrio to create a way to efficiently deliver vaccines, but then the company reprogrammed it to be fatal. This was against Anrio's morals, and that's why he left. To reprogram the virus again, the capsule must be removed. But the only way to do it without killing Hattie is by using a machine at the Ukrainian Eden facility. Afterward, the trio goes to Shaw's hideout to get costumes and make fake passports. At the airport, Shaw and Hattie are allowed to pass without trouble. However, Hobbs is detained. It turns out Shaw gave him a wanted name on purpose since he doesn't want him in the way. When the plane is about to take off, Hobbs still manages to board. During the flight, Shaw and Hobbs start arguing again and wake up Air Marshal Dinkley, who makes them shut up. From what he heard from their conversation, Dinkley can tell they're on a mission and wants to help them since he's a former Marine who misses action. The duo turns him down, but Dinkley gives them his card anyway. In the meantime, Brixton finds Anrio and takes him to Eden headquarters. He hangs him on a chain and shoots at the targets next to him to intimidate him. Ando refuses to cooperate, so Brixton threatens him with a flamethrower to force him to change his mind. In Moscow, the heroes visit crime lady Margarita, who greets her ex Shaw with a kiss. Then Margarita shows them the intel she has on the Eden facility, and Hattie volunteers to get caught on purpose. That way, she'll be taken straight to the extraction machine, and the guys can track her location. Margarita also provides the trio with plenty of weapons and gadgets for the mission. In the evening, Margarita hands Hattie over to Brixton as a prisoner. The next morning, she arrives at the facility, and Shaw and Hobbs follow her on a plane. They jump out when they reach the facility too and land inside a silo to infiltrate the building. While the duo beats up the guards on their way, Hattie is taken to the lab where Anrio is getting the machine ready. Hobbs and Shaw install some explosives that will go off in 45 minutes. Then they go through different doors. While Hobbs only has to knock down one guard, Shaw has to fight a bunch of them at the same time. He easily defeats them and then both men use the unconscious guards to open the next doors. They both come out in the same room where Brixton and his men quickly knock them out. In the lab, Hattie has been strapped to a table by her hands. Her legs are free, so she attacks the guards and brings them down by taking the needle they had for her. With the pick she's hidden in her mouth, she picks the handcuffs to free herself and steal the machine. Ando helps her escape through an alternate exit. They sneak around and Hattie beats up a few scientists to move along. When Hobbs and Shaw wake up, they find themselves chained to chairs that are connected to cables. Brixton starts shocking them over and over while talking about how humanity needs to be cleansed. He offers the duo to join Eden, but they refuse and the shocks get worse. At the same time, Hattie and Anrio are about to leave in a truck. However, she hears her teammate screams. When Hobbs sees Hattie sneaking into the room, he pretends to be interested in joining Eden and stalls for time. This distraction allows Hattie to appear behind Brixton, but the guards can't shoot her because they need her alive. Unfortunately, her gun isn't working. At that moment, Anrio shows up with the flamethrower and shoots it at Brixton, which sends him flying back. While Anrio continues to light guards on fire, Hobbs and Shaw use the chance to break the chairs and free themselves. The guys and Hattie join the fight, knocking down lots of guards and stealing their guns. After putting out the flames, Brixton joins the fight too and quickly kills Anrio. Hobbs and Shaw then get in a car and follow Hattie, who is running on top of the containers. She jumps into the car and tells them that she hid the device in a truck. So, Hobbs leaves them to search for it. The guards get on cars too and start a chase inside the building that soon reaches the street. When Brixton sees Hobbs escaping in the truck, he jumps on top of it to get on his bike and join the chase. At that moment, the explosives blow up, so Hobbs has to drive the truck through the walls to find the exit. Outside, Brixton activates 3 drones that search for Hattie. The guards almost manage to block Shaw, who takes the car towards some platforms to escape. The drones find him and open fire, forcing him to drive through a window to enter a factory. Hobbs enters the same building and crashes into the drone to destroy it. Then he drives through the gate to come out again and crashes into enemy vehicles to defeat them too. A drone flies outside the factory and opens fire at Shaw, who once again makes the car jump through the window. Once outside, he shoots while still in the air to bring down the drone. When it lands on the ground, the impact leaves Hattie on the hood. The car is starting to fail, and the last drone is still coming after them. Hattie manages to shoot the drone down while Hobbs continues to bring down enemy cars with the truck. He reaches out with his arm and Hattie makes a jump to grab it, getting inside the truck right before Brixton tries to grab her and fold instead. Afterward, Shaw makes the car land on the back of the truck while Brixton gets on his bike to chase them again. Shaw gets out and lets the car fall, causing an explosion that starts destroying the facility. Hobbs lets Hattie drive and joins Shaw in the back as Brixton does the same. As buildings fall behind them, a fight ensues, but even if it's 2 against 1, Brixton's strength is superior. After exchanging a few hits, Brixton gets ready to give them the killer blow. However, a building falls on the back of the truck. The duo rushes to the front seats for protection, and Brixton is forced to jump off to escape. Moments later, the trio stops the truck at a safe spot and discovers that the extraction machine broke down during the fight. Hattie is in favor of a sacrifice just to stop this, but Shaw refuses to lose her and wants to find another solution. Hobbs invites them to hide in his home country of Samoa. The group flies safely thanks to Dinkley smuggling them in. In Samoa, Hobbs visits his brother Jonah, who punches him as soon as he sees him. The brothers start arguing, but they're stopped when their mother throws a slipper at them. Once inside, the trio asks Jonah to fix the machine, but he refuses to get involved in his brother's troubles. Their mom has to scold them again until Jonah agrees to help. Afterward, they go to Jonah's car shop where Hobbs wants to get some weapons. However, his mother has gotten rid of all firearms and only traditional things are left. While Jonah repairs the machine, everyone gets armed and puts up lots of traps in the area. Hattie hacks into Idian's system and finds a way to deactivate the enemy's digital weapons, but it'll only last 6 minutes. While taking a break, Hattie and Shaw share their struggles and kiss. With only 30 minutes left before the capsule dissolves, Jonah finally finishes repairing the machine and starts the extraction process, which will take a while. At that moment, the enemy arrives, so the group gets ready to fight. Before leaving, Hobbs apologizes to his brother for abandoning the family, and they hug. At the same time, Shaw and Hattie make amends, too, promising to keep in touch from now on. Brixton's team surrounds the building in their vehicles while Hobbs comes out with his brothers. When the enemy tries to open fire, their weapons fail thanks to Hattie's hacking. After saying the words of a traditional ritual, Hobbs activates an explosive that blows up several vehicles, bringing down a bunch of enemies at the same time. Then Shaw comes out in a truck with a flamethrower, which creates a circle of flames to trap Brixton's group. Now Hobbs and his brothers can attack, triggering a fierce hand-to-hand battle. Since the agents are used to guns, they don't know how to defend themselves against traditional weapons. The only one putting up a good fight is Brixton, whose superior body makes up for the lack of guns. Some agents manage to sneak around and find Hattie, who is still connected to the machine. She defends herself, but there are too many men, so Shaw rushes to help her. The siblings work together to defeat the bad guys without interrupting the extraction process. An enemy sends a car towards them, and the siblings jump out of the way right before it explodes. Unfortunately, the shockwave leaves Hattie rather dizzy, so she gets lost in the battlefield. Meanwhile, Eden's helicopter lands nearby. Brixton finds Hattie and grabs her by the neck, so she spits on his face. The heroes see Hattie being dragged to the chopper and get on a truck to follow her. Shaw drives while Hobbs gets the chain on the back. When the truck makes a big jump, Hobbs throws the chain to capture the helicopter and Shaw drives faster to lower it. Hobbs activates the engine to start rolling up the chain. So, a furious Brixton pushes the pilot off to take over the controls, pulling the chopper back and lifting the truck. At that moment, Jonah and some of the brothers show up in more trucks, which they start connecting to Shaw's to provide extra weight. 4 vehicles end up connected in a line, so Brixton takes the helicopter over the cliff to try to make them fall. Thankfully, the brothers have installed boosters in their trucks and activate them to bring them all back to land. Then, the enemy's weapons come back online, so Brixton opens fire and forces the trucks to separate. Shaw keeps dragging the helicopter while the traps on the road start blowing up, bringing down the Eden cars that have joined the chase. The strain on the chain causes it to disconnect. So Hobbs has to grab it not to lose the chopper. With a sudden turn, Shaw shakes the truck and Hobbs attaches the chain again. Hattie uses the distraction to fight the guards around her and their shots damage the helicopter so much that it goes down. As the chopper rolls down the cliff, the truck is dragged down as well. Both vehicles crash on the ground, but Brixton is still alive. Hattie is also fine and the machine is still extracting. So Brixton wakes up one of his men and tells him to shoot Hattie when the device reaches 0. Hobbs and Shaw come out of the water and start fighting Brixton again. He has the upper hand as usual and hits them with helicopter parts. When Shaw gets punched, Hobbs manages to hit Brixton from behind. The duo realizes that one of them can act as bait and the other can attack Brixton at the same time. By working together on this plan, they manage to overpower Brixton with multiple blows. When the machine reaches 0, Hattie grabs some helicopter cables and creates a small explosion that brings the agent down. Then she chokes him unconscious. The duo continues to fight until they finally defeat Brixton by smashing him on a rock. Shaw then grabs Brixton's gun, but refuses to kill him, knowing that living with this loss will hurt him more. Back in the auto shop, Hobbs' mother brings the whole village to defend the area from the remaining agents, forcing them to surrender. Eden has been watching everything through the cameras on Brixton's eyes and deactivates him, causing his body to fall into the ocean. His boss sends a message through the plane, promising that this isn't over. Later, Hobbs brings Sam to finally meet his family, while Hattie and Shaw visit their mom to help her escape. Make sure to subscribe our channel Cinema Fathom and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.